Morning, everybody. How are you all doing? Sam here, United People's TV, kickstarting another week. And yes, it's another week without a takeover. There is no update to bring you on that. Let's move on to more positive things. Let's talk about Onana. Let's talk about Rasmus Hojlund. And I think this week is where we're going to start seeing a bit of a difference and a bit of movement when it comes to player sales. Also, we're seeing Man United in action. 8 preseason games. I know they're good for fitness and all that, but 8, come on. Anyway, we're probably going to be seeing Mason Mount's debut against Leeds. Onana, hopefully that deal is going to be done by Thursday. I got a bit excited and look, I was hoping that Here We Go was going to come on Friday. I think I fed the, I don't know. I got a bit excited. I thought it was going to happen. But look, I'll run through the latest there. We're going to speak about a million things. Monday is always a busy show. I think I must have like 450 tabs open here, but I'm going to run through everything, bring you bang up to date on the latest on Onana, Hojlund, Maguire, Fred, conversation about Disassi, maybe Pellistri going to FC Twente. Then we'll take a little bit of a look towards the game on Wednesday. Hey, it's going to be a busy show. Let's have a look down here. Good morning to you all. How you doing, buddy? Haven't seen you in a little while. Guessing you'll be busy. Brian, Chris, Amy, you're there as well. Cormac on Facebook. We've got Matthew Bartram. We've got Katamba. Natasha, you're watching on YouTube. Paula, Ant, you're there. Josh, you're there. Bully, and all the regulars as well. Good morning to all of you. Sorry if I missed your names. It's just that you weren't on my screen at the time. Too, you're there too. Few things I want to speak about first, and this is an important one because this shook me when this news came out at the weekend. Van der Sar, I think he's 52. Van der Sar went into hospital. I think it was it an aneurysm? I think it was. Was it a bleed on the brain? What happened exactly? It's not. I've not got it written on there. Sorry. Suffering a bleed around his brain. Now, that this is the latest from Ajax, who are releasing a statement on behalf of his wife, Anne-Marie. And I think it's looking slightly better now. He's still in intensive care, but he's considered stable. And there's reports coming out from Holland. I want to make sure I'm not like spreading misinformation here, but I'm seeing that he's talking. He's sitting there, and it's a good thing from where it was. So sending all the prayers in the world, because I think that what shook me, I don't know, like Van der Sar, man, he's been an athlete his whole life. He's fit. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom. Just don't ever take anything for granted, people. That's what I would say to begin the show. So I fingers crossed we get a positive update on Van der Sar within the next couple of days. And indeed, get well soon. Everybody in the comments send in their own prayers and messages to him. In terms of as I said, the takeover, I mean, what can I say that you don't already think? The Glazers have managed to drag this out for so long that no one's really said anything over the last week. Nothing's really changed over the last week. I think it's been like 5 weeks now since that 5th bid went in from Sheikh Jassim. 5 weeks. Still not really a peep from anything, from anybody. Kev, you're saying you don't understand the delay. I've said that for a long, long time. I don't really see what they stand to gain by delaying it anymore. It's just like, you've got 2 options on the table. Choose one. PPR, you're saying takeover equals boring. The takeover of Manchester United is the single most important thing that's happened to our football club in decades. It's not boring, but it's painfully frustrating when it's something that means so much. And it's the Glazers have never done anything with the best interests of Manchester United first and foremost. Never. Quite literally not once. And that's exactly what's going on here. But yeah, I can't really understand the delays anymore. I can't put my finger and explain it. Oh yeah, this is probably why they're doing it. But there was a major announcement that happened over the weekend on Saturday. I was busy hosting a barbecue. Absolutely nailed it, by the way. Chicken wings. Ooh, 10 out of 10. Actually, 15 out of 10. That's what I'm giving myself for them. David de Gea announced that he would be leaving Manchester United. Now, we, of course, felt this was inevitable, but it's the confirmation of it over the weekend. What's been your reaction to news on David de Gea? This was his farewell message. It's been an unforgettable and successful period when I came here. I didn't think from leaving Madrid as a young boy we would achieve what we did together. I like that bit at the end there where he signs it off with "We've seen it all." Man United have got a history of letting players go in the wrong way. We just don't handle it well as a club. If this situation, if Man United's summer situation with the goalkeeper was kind of known and we could plan it properly, then Bruno is completely right in what he said here, right? What Bruno said at the bottom is completely spot on. You deserve to say goodbye at the stadium with all the fans cheering. Let me just start again. You deserve to say goodbye at the stadium with all the fans cheering you for all the beautiful memories. If Man United had planned this better, and all of a sudden our budget didn't randomly change, all of a sudden we now can go after Onana, then that game there, I think it was against Fulham, the last game of the season, it could have been a proper send-off for De Gea that he deserved. But he didn't get that because Manchester United couldn't plan properly. And that's poor. I hope that De Gea will come back. I think we had this conversation last week. I think you said that it was Roy Keane who came back for a testimonial after he moved to Celtic. I hope De Gea comes back and gets a testimonial. He deserves a testimonial. And you can see all the messages there from all the different players for David De Gea. And it's the end of an era, right? Let me see what you're saying in the comments. PPR saying we don't do testimonials, we do, but they're reserved. Remember when Phil Jones said that Phil Jones could have had a testimonial, but he said no, absolutely not. Lily, you're saying that the De Gea situation was handled horribly. It was. It absolutely was. And that's something full well that I've been wanting David De Gea to leave pretty much all season. I made my opinion up on it quite early. I was willing to, in my head, I was willing to give David De Gea like 3-4 months to sort of prove himself that he could adapt his game towards the Ten Hag style. And there were some signs that were positive, but ultimately they got buried underneath the mountain of evidence that it just wasn't suited for him. And that's why he did have to leave. But I was thinking about it on the before we went live here, and it's like, just because it was the right thing to do for him to leave, it doesn't mean United did it right. It's like, I don't know. If you've ever managed people and you've ever had to sack people, it's grim. But I don't know, like you could sack someone in front of the whole office, right? Or you could take that person to the side and have a little private meeting. The exact same consequence, but there's two different ways of doing it. One that's far more empathetic than the other. United have gone about it horribly with how De Gea has left. Ten Hag speaking about him there, saying that to have won Player of the Year awards from fans and teammates each on 4 occasions shows the level of performances. He will be remembered as one of the very best goalkeepers in the history of the club. And I do not disagree with that. Now, I know that some of you sort of disagree. Well, some of you will disagree with me on this. I don't personally use the word legend when I speak about De Gea. I think he is a United great and a United icon. But I feel the word legend is reserved for a very select amount of Manchester United players. However, sod knows how far we would have fallen as a club if De Gea hadn't have been here over these last 12 years. Worked under 7 managers, won the Premier League. He's the only player left in that squad who remembers. Oh, maybe Phil Jones there as well. Phil Jones there? Can't remember what it was like to win the Premier League. Henrik saying, "Where's the gong for Gangashi?" In my hands. I just saw it. Jeez. I saw I saw a Fleetwood Mac tribute band last night. Big up Fleetwood Mac. And the drummer had a big old gong on the stage. As soon as he hit it, I was like, how many memberships he gifted? Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments about him. Dave, you think it was the FA Cup final? That was the writing on the wall. Such a poor game. I mean, maybe Sevilla away. If I'm going to pick out individual games, I would probably say the Sevilla away game too. And the FA Cup final certainly didn't help him. Sosig, you disagree with me? You think legend fits considering what he's done for the club? He's earned it. Hey, look, it's sad to have seen De Gea go out the way he went out, but it was the correct decision for him to go out. And at the it's just the way football. That's the way life works. Anything works. Like when something old goes out, something new comes in. And now we can just sit here and just doing that, rubbing our hands together, waiting for the Andre Onana announcement. I was hoping it was going to be on Friday. It felt like the swiftness that United had dealt with the negotiations last week. I was over optimistic and hoping that would mean that United could get that deal done on Friday, which wasn't the case. However, it doesn't change the fact that at some point this week, we are going to get the 3 words from Fabrizio Romano. We will see a deal get announced for Andre Onana. This is the latest on the situation. I said, look, Manchester United are not negotiating for any other first goalkeeper apart from Onana at this stage. Contacts took place with 2 or 3 candidates, but it's nobody else. The deal is expected to be done and sealed next week. And an update on that. It's Andre Onana week for Manchester United. Negotiations will continue with that final round in order to submit the bid and get it done. Sources expect the agreement to be done by Wednesday or Thursday. No issues on personal terms, as they were already agreed and signed. Well, not signed, already agreed since last week. So in the same way we're saying goodbye to David de Gea, we are just about to say hello to Andre Onana. And I did a video of the weekend. I've taken a look. I've got a short video coming up on sort of top 5 reasons why I think Onana is going to make such a big difference to this Manchester United team and squad. I'm going to actually do a more of an in-depth profile on Onana using like real in-game examples to sort of show what he's all about. It's going to be a big, big signing. This is what The Athletic are saying about it as well. That's the latest from Fabrizio Romano. United are continuing negotiations with Onana, but a potential deal is expected to be several days away, and that was released 2 days ago from Laurie Whitwell. Ten Hag wants Onana signed in time for the US tour. So we fly out for the US tour on July 19th, and Ten Hag wants this man on that plane. What's it? I don't know. I know, well, maybe not all of you would, but I think I know what your opinions are going to be about Onana. But are there any other questions around the transfer that you have got in your mind that you want to fire in? Let me know in the comments. John, you're going back to De Gea, saying De Gea was an incredible shot stopper for the club. However, when he had too much time to think about it, the more likely he was to mess it up. Hey, look, the profile, just the shoe didn't fit. It did before with David De Gea for years. But even his shot stopping sort of faded over the last couple of years. And he wasn't that just sort of, I mean, last year, probably some of his best saves actually came in a United shirt. But it was because of the difference in style, his vulnerabilities were massively exposed. It's a bit like playing Maguire alongside Lindelof together, alongside each other. Their weaknesses are massively exposed. What he's saying down here about Onana. Robbie, you're saying that he transformed the style of play. It'll be nice to watch United without crapping it every time. I cannot wait to see it. I really, really can't. Alex is saying, Sam, what do we do if Onana gets injured or suspended? Does Heaton come in? We've been linked with Suzuki. Zan Suzuki. I did a little video on him on the weekend on TikTok and Instagram. If you'd like to go and follow those, that'd be fantastic. And what's his name? Bayinda, I think, from Fenerbahce. We've been linked with it. I imagine we'll probably sign another goalkeeper. Or maybe Matic Kovar will come through. I don't actually know. I still don't know much about him because I just still haven't done that interview yet and got it organised. Sam, what are you saying down there? You've sent a super chat. Nice to make the live chat for once. Usually I'm working, but today is my... well, I'm sorry to hear that, my man. But I'm glad you made it into the live chat. Hopefully you enjoy yourself. Lots of you talking about Harry Maguire down there. I'll be speaking about Harry Maguire in a bit. Don't you worry about that. But Onana, we should be getting this done ASAP, Rocky. And I'll tell you what, this is something that I saw. I thought was an interesting stat. Look, let me go full screen on this one because we're talking so much about Onana's ability to play with the ball at his feet, ability to play with a higher line, ability to maybe come out and claim some crosses. Also, in the Champions League last season, read this. He conceded just 10 goals from an expected goals on target of 17.8. Therefore, he prevented 7.8 goals compared to all the shots he faced on target. It should have led to 17.8 goals being conceded, but it wasn't. It was 10. Therefore, his goals prevented was the highest of any goalkeeper in the competition last season. So he's not just about great distribution. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. And I saw this question on Twitter, right? And I thought it was a really, really good question. So I want to ask you in the comments, fire in some names. Who was the last player that you think Manchester United signed when they were sort of at their peak and they were one of like the best players in the world and of that sort? I think you could use Van Persie in this case, but Van Persie was he 29 or was he 30 when we signed him? I think you probably could use Van Persie in this case. But United don't particularly sign players like Onana, who are one of the best in their world and you're putting Wayne Rooney down there. Wayne Rooney was a teenager. I'm talking about like established best in their position in world football. Someone's putting Casemiro down there. I mean, Casemiro was, again, 30. I don't know whether that's too old or not. Bruno Fernandes, that's a decent enough shout. Veron, you are going way back. Man, always upsets me that Veron never completely worked out when he had the midfield that we had. Pogba, maybe, I suppose. I think you could probably have Pogba in that conversation. Di Maria, yeah, Di Maria is definitely one, but yeah, all that works out. I'm saying that, I don't know. Martinez, I don't think he was part of that conversation when we signed him. But Onana, man, I'm not sure if I've mentioned it. I'm quite excited about signing him. I think it is going to be the difference maker. Really is going to be a difference maker. But as Alex pointed out down there, there's going to be a massive drop-off between him and Heaton. Do we sign the second choice? Is that Zion Suzuki? Is that somebody else? I don't know. We'll find out. Sam, lovely to see that. Look at that, man. Joining in on the first live stream, and now he's joined as a member. Part of the community. Everyone welcome him in. But when we go from Onana, there's one man who's next on that list. And that is Rasmus Hojlund. The Atalanta striker has been chosen by Erik ten Hag as the choice of striker. We know that. This was a story that came out last week, or 4 days ago now. Man United are going to be launching that bid for him. But I question whether that's going to happen before more movement happens on player sales. And that's what we're going to be speaking about for the next 10, 15 minutes of the show. I'll tell you what, his agent, his agent is his trainer. He's getting everyone excited there. That's obviously Hojlund doing some preseason work. And that is his trainer saying, look, we're ready for whatever is coming next. He's hyping it up. Atalanta will hype it up. Now, I saw reports over the weekend suggesting that Man United might be looking at loaning Mason Greenwood to Atalanta as part of a deal to bring Rasmus Hojlund in. And you know what I think about the Greenwood situation. You know I would rather Manchester United just cut ties and done. But I think United are going to delay having to make that decision by loaning him out. And I kind of felt that for a while. The longer it goes on, the more likely I feel a loan is. But Rasmus Hojlund, his trainer's bigging it up. What are you saying about Hojlund in the comments? Let's have a look down here. Dean Ford saying, I'm not convinced by Hojlund. Why? Is that there's still that natural pessimism in United fans, but in the striker market this summer, Harry Kane is who Ten Hag would love, right? We absolutely know that. Fabrizio Romano here confirming that Spurs are not going to be accepting Bayern's second bid of 80 million euros for Hojlund. No, not Hojlund. Harry Kane. And I imagine United are going to be just keeping one eye on the Kane situation. I don't really think we're going to be able to afford it. I don't really think we're going to be able to be involved in a conversation. I think if he either stays at Spurs or he leaves to go to Bayern Munich. Now, Hojlund is, of course, raw. I can see what you're saying down there. Rodney's saying he's raw. And he is raw. He is untested. Yes. But we have to trust that Erik Ten Hag, this man right here, and Benny McCarthy too, by the way, will be coaching the absolute best out of Rasmus Hojlund, and that we have identified a player who has not only the ability, but the ability to step up into the Premier League and step up into Manchester United, because the scrutiny is intense. The demands are intense, and so is Ten Hag's style of football. But if Ten Hag thinks that he's going to be the right signing, then he must feel that his attributes are there and he's got the right character to follow through and turn that talent into a top-level striker. It might not work. And I understand there's some sort of pessimism. Someone down there saying, I would rather sign Kolo Muani. Muani's 4 years older than him? Let's have a look. Yeah. Kolo Muani's 24. Hojlund is 20. So, and I think that unto itself, maybe it's just price, right? Because Muani, I think you're looking at a minimum, I don't know. I think you're probably looking at around about 80 million for Kolo Muani. And maybe it's the price that Manchester United have been put off by. But it's not as if Hojlund's going to be cheap. Like 50 mil for a 20-year-old. It's a lot of dough. And he is a lot of dough. But we need a striker this summer. And it's going to be Hojlund if Ten Hag gets his man. But my personal feeling on this... Actually, no, let me quickly say this before we move on. I did this video on Saturday. Took a little day off on Sunday. I know, it's absolutely despicable. How dare you have a day off, Sam? But I did my video on Saturday where I took a look at the starting 11 with Onana in, with Mount in, and with Hojlund in. I said, if those three are going to be our top three signings this summer, our main sort of starting 11 changing signings, where are the strengths, where are the weaknesses? And there are still weaknesses, and I ran through all of them in that video. So if you haven't seen it, it's on the channel. And make sure you drop a like on the video if you can. Same as this video as well. If you can, just please drop a like. But let's move on to, as I said, what I feel is going to be the majority of the focus now. I don't think signings are done. I don't even think signings are done after Hojlund. However, attention must now turn to player sales. And for me, personally, there's one name at the top of that list. It's Harry Maguire. I just feel, I don't know, it feels like there's not bad blood. It's just the wrong way to describe it, but there's, I really don't know the right way to describe it. I'm just done. I've checked out with Harry Maguire. You know, in the same way that I've checked out with Anthony Martial. But I think because of budgets X, Y, Z, and the fact that no one can actually pay his wages, I think Martial might end up staying for another year. And maybe Manchester United are going to be... I find this interesting, right? This has come from Manchester Evening News. Only came out about 10, 15 minutes ago, saying Manchester United have put a £50 million price tag on Harry Maguire. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and use that for the poll. Today's question: how much do you think Maguire is worth? All right. And don't just put 1 million because you're an idiot, or 100 million because you're also an idiot. Genuinely, what do you think will be a fair price for him? I'm going to put 4 options down here. All right. And you can let me know. We've got 10 to 20 million, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, or 40 to 50. Somewhere in that bracket, right? There's no way he's worth 50 mil in my opinion. I can see so many comments flying in here. Jeez. Honestly, it won't ever not put a smile on my face seeing how engaged the community is in the chat and how much you enjoy it. This feels optimistic, I think, is a fair way to describe it. And I imagine that's probably more to do with the fact that we paid 80 million for Harry Maguire rather than the fact that we think he's genuinely worth 50 mil. Olivia, I don't disagree with you down there. We all kind of knew we got our pants pulled down by Leicester. But at the time, I really didn't care. I was so excited about I was proper excited about Maguire. Because I thought we were going to have that ball playing centre back who drives out of defence. I don't know. It felt like it would fit. It felt like it would be correct and right. But alas, I was completely and utterly wrong. Let me see what you're saying in the comments down here. Zion, you're saying 40 mil, an England international first choice centre back. I think 40 mil is a good price. Leela, you're saying no one is crazy enough to pay over 30 mil for Maguire. Bear in mind that City, I think, are about to sell James Trafford, the England under-21s goalkeeper. Big up to England under-21s, by the way. Won the whole tournament without actually conceding a goal. Jeez. I think they're going to sell him for the best part of 20 mil. Aren't they? I think they are. Newcastle, 30 mil. 30 mil max, says Edwin. 45 million is fair, taking into account English player tax and Premier League player tax. Let me see what the poll is saying. I'll be interested. So I'm gonna try and remember this by the end of the show, but I'm really quite bad at that sometimes. Oh, look at that! I think that's the first time I've seen that. Maybe it's happened before, but just over 3,000 people watching on YouTube. Welcome aboard. But you are currently saying 49% of you are saying somewhere between 30 and 40 mil. That's exactly where I am. And I'm edging more towards the 40. I think 35 mil, 35 to 40 feels like a really fair price for a player of Maguire's age, experience, etc., etc. He might not have the qualities to fit Manchester United perfectly, but he will still go on to be a very decent centre-back elsewhere. I just hope that United don't price Maguire out of a move, because it would seem strange. Fabrizio Romano here saying, look, Maguire's been training 3 times a day for 3 weeks, been spending time training one-on-one with Ricardo Carvalho. He wants to fight for his place and not give up. And I've got absolutely no doubt about that. And I said this before, right? I think anybody who's been a subscriber of United People's TV long enough will know how much I would like Harry Maguire to leave. I've made that opinion abundantly clear. However, I genuinely do feel that Harry Maguire, with Andre Onana behind him, is going to be would be a better centre-back. I think every Manchester United defender will be better defenders because they've got Andre Onana behind them. And I think Maguire is one of them. You know, in the same way that Maguire playing alongside Lindelof, it just didn't work because their weaknesses were exposed by the other. Maguire playing in front of De Gea, their weaknesses were exposed by the other. Now, I personally would rather Manchester United find a buyer for Maguire. His wages are going to be a problem, right? And if Man United are putting a 50 mil price tag on him, that's also going to be a problem. I hope we find a club for him. And he, for me, is top of the sales list. I'm going to go down there and see what you're saying. Training can't speed him up and get him to turn and get him to have a better idea of what's going on around him. He's got no pace for the high line, says Lily. Hey, look, I don't disagree with him. I don't disagree with, well, maybe a good. I just think he would be a slightly less crap version of himself with Onana behind him. I just hope that Manchester United can find a club for him. And then obviously we're getting linked with what? Axel Disasi from Monaco, and is it Todibo from Nice, I think. So United are looking at other options. But the only way that we bring one in is if Maguire leaves. The only way Maguire leaves is if somebody... I don't really know how anyone's going to pay those wages, because Maguire's just got a 25% bump, just like everyone else, because we're back in the Champions League. So I think he must be... Is he on? He must be in excess of 200 a week now. Ain't nobody paying that for Maguire. It's almost like Man United's contracts have been poor for a long time. Sam, are you surprised we didn't offer a deal with West Ham for Rice that included him? Not particularly, because Rice wanted Arsenal. Arsenal wanted Rice, and that was just game, set, and match. Somebody who could, of course, be leaving, and it kind of get the feeling that he is, and that's Fred. Fabrizio Romano confirming that Fred has actually switched agents now, represented by the same people that represent Gabriel Jesus. And I know it's not a guarantee, but it's only hints towards, I don't know, why would you switch agent if you're not going to be looking to leave, sort of thing. Fulham, I imagine he'd be, look, I don't know. Andres Pereira went there and absolutely shone. And I would hope that Fred would do the exact same until he played us, and then I hope he played absolutely abysmal and scored no goal. But Mount is the upgrade on Fred. For me, inside that squad, inside of the role of where he would be next year. McTominay is another name, of course, on that list, and there are plenty of others on the list of players I think United should be selling this summer. But when it comes to the budget, right, we've got 55 mil on Mason Mount. When the deal goes through for Onana, you're looking at around about 45 million plus the add-ons. So that's total about 100 mil. We were told always that our budget was somewhere in the region of 100 to 150 mil. So if you include 50, and it's not, and if our first bid is 50 mil, then we're not going to be paying 50 mil for Hojlund, because no one accepts the first bid. But that would take it to 150. So then you've really got to start looking at player sales. And that's why for me, it feels like before we get Hojlund in, hypothetically, we get him in, I think we're going to be getting rid of a couple of players first. That's what I think. Someone down there saying 50 mil combined from Fred. Yeah, I mean, I'll take that. I would take that. I think that'd be good business. I think Fred should be around about 20 million. And I think McTominay is worth at least 30 million. I'll probably say maybe even slightly more. But this summer has to be where we do it properly. Now, there's something that was released earlier today before the live show, and I've read through it already, but there's absolutely no chance I'm going to try and explain this on a live stream, because it's a lot. I've been waiting for this. So this is from The Athletic this morning, and it's a bit of an in-depth article trying to explain as best as possible what the FFP situation is. So I'm maybe not today, or maybe today. I don't actually know. I'll figure out what I want to do for my lunchtime video. I'm going to run through this because even the Athletic, the way that they've written this, it just goes to show you how complicated this whole situation is. But the one fact that we know is that player sales change everything. That's it. Man United, like, you can talk about all the complications of, this is how much United have lost over the last 3 years, and then taking into account and then averaging that over them, putting this under infinite, blah, blah, blah. And that's where it's all complicated. But the simple reality is, if Man United sell properly this summer, FFP won't really be an issue. Fred, Maguire, McTominay, Martial, Van der Beek, Elanga, Williams, Bay, Tellez. I don't know how many players I just said there, but there are so many we can get rid of, so many that we can get off our wage bill. Player sales, that's the clincher. So hopefully, and I that's why I've always had a lot of concern about it, about the lack of movement on it. But I'll do that as maybe I'll do that as my lunchtime video today or tomorrow, one of the two. But that's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I know that you've wanted it too. I can see it down in the comments. Another little potential exit. This is coming from Voetbal International from Holland, saying that FC Twente are taking a look at signing Facundo Pellistri on loan. And I think I said this before. I don't know whether I said it in a live stream or not. If Pellistri leaves on loan, I don't really see how he comes back at Manchester United and has a career. I know there might be some examples of it, but typically, if a player gets loaned out once, it can be for development. But if a player gets loaned out twice, I just don't see how that player comes back to the club. And I might be completely wrong. That's just my personal opinion on it. But FC Twente are sniffing around. And given that we've got on the left wing, we've got Alejandro Garnacho and Marcus Rashford. On the right wing, we've got Anthony. And then you could probably put Jadon Sancho on there if you want to. Or you can put him on the left wing. You've also got Ahmad, who's come back. We've got options, man. Craig is saying Mount was loaned out twice. Hey, look, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it is impossible. I'm just saying it feels unlikely. But what I also think is unlikely is Pellistri staying at Manchester United this coming season, unless Ten Hag has absolutely promised that he's going to be integrated into his first team. Because Pellistri he got his loan spell. Well, there was loads of loan offers for Pellistri last January. They got all rebuffed because Ten Hag wanted him, and he didn't really play that much. Graham is saying, what about Sancho? Keep or try and get a good price? I think Sancho, honest opinion, I think Sancho is for sale at the right price. But I don't think that price will come in. If somebody was to come in and offer Man United 50 million for Jadon Sancho, I think Ten Hag and the club would go, right, let's talk this through. I don't think they would just dismiss it out of hand. I also don't think that we're going to be actively looking to sell Jadon Sancho. We won't be there like phone calls up. You want to buy Jadon? But if somebody comes to knocking with a good price, I think it's something that United will speak about. I don't know whether he'd actually leave, though. And Felix with the worst comment of the week so far, saying Sancho is worth 15 mil. It's good to see there are some trolls still down there in the comments, though. I like that. You have to appreciate the hustle. Let me see what you're saying. Quite a few of you are talking about Sancho. Graham, Sam is talking Tosh. Loans for development. Daft comment. Graham, I would encourage you to give me 5 examples. I'm sure that I don't know actually how many have happened at United. 5 examples of players who have been loaned out twice. I'm not talking about loans, individual loans. Ahmad last year, nailed it. Great loan at Sunderland. James Garner at Nottingham Forest, another great example. Axel Tuanzebe when he got promoted with Villa, another good example. Give me 5 examples of players who have been loaned out by the same club in 2 separate seasons who then go on to nail it for that club. I don't know if he's having at Manchester United. Jesse Lingard, where did he go? Can't remember where he went online. Lingard. Can't remember. Forest? Middlesbrough? Can't remember where he went. Anyway, I'm getting distracted here. I like this comment from Casemiro. Leicester, that was it. Lingard was at Leicester. Thank you very much. Who was that said that? Glenn, big up to you. What are we saying down here? Look, I saw this comment from Casemiro, and it's something I've felt for a long time. I think Diogo Dalot last preseason when he was given an interview, he spoke about the drive of getting Manchester United back on top is something that drives him, and that's exactly what Casemiro has said here. His goals right now are to win a World Cup for Brazil and to put Manchester United back on top. And it really should. Whoever does it, whatever manager does it, whatever players do it, they are going to be remembered. They're going to leave a legacy behind at Manchester United. And it really should be one of the driving forces in that squad. Erik ten Hag, if he is the manager to bring Manchester United back to the top, and he's going to go into the pantheon of greats as far as Manchester United managers go, with extremely good company. And Casemiro wants that. It was a really good interview, actually. Casemiro was explaining that if he had stayed at Real Madrid for another 2-3 years, he probably wouldn't have gone anywhere else, because he wouldn't have the drive and the energy and the ambition needed to go to another club and give it his all to get them there. I love the bloke. There were definite concerns about whether or not that amount of money for a player like Casemiro, would he have the drive? I mean, he's just won it all. What can be? Nah. All those fears sort of disappeared after what we saw last season from Casemiro. I think he's only going to get better. Next season, I think he's going to be even better. Rex, how you doing, buddy? What are you saying? Thank you very much, Super Chat, man. Hi, Sam. Hojlund could be a great signing, but he would be the only striker. Can't trust Martial. Do you see us having the same problems up front? I wouldn't say I see us having the same problems, but there will be problems unless we sign 2 strikers. And maybe even if we sign 2 strikers, it could go wrong. It could get injuries. X, Y. You have no idea what's going to happen next season. It won't be the same problems. It will be lesser, but it will still be, I don't know. I'll still be concerned. This is something I wanted to talk about, right? So this is Erik ten Hag. Let me read the quote out for you. This is Erik ten Hag last season. He said that I think this was this just before we played Arsenal, I think. Because I think Casemiro was suspended for it. Look at that for a segue. I think this is one where Casemiro was suspended, because in just one game, we had the whole squad available totally. That was against Man City. Every other time, it's been one player suspended, injured, or unavailable through illness. We have to deal with it well. But Arsenal, all the time, their squad is totally available. So that's Erik ten Hag there praising Arsenal's ability to have their squad fit and ready the whole time. Now, why do you think I'm pulling that comment up? I'm sure some of you know. You can let me know in the comments, and I'll explain why in a second. Ryden, you're saying, Sam, any thoughts on the Felix loan rumors? I hope they're just guff. I think they are just guff. I don't want him near the club, man. Good player, yeah, but just in terms of the profile, in terms of exactly where we need a signing, that one just doesn't fit, in my opinion, anyway. DP, you got it down there. Indeed. Erik ten Hag praising. Man, look how good. How is it that Arsenal have all the players fit the whole time? I don't know. How about you just go and hire Arsenal's head of medical services? It just made me laugh. I believe our head of medical services left in December, and Man United have been kind of headhunting, like looking around, seeing who the best person was. We've identified Gary O'Driscoll. Maybe Anthony Martial next season, plays 38 games, scores 41 goals, and he becomes one of the best players in the world. And he never has an injury problem again. You must have some mega juju if you get not juju, but work your magic, Gary. All right, if Martial is here next year, work your magic. Yeah, it was something that Ten Hag clearly identified. And because of Ten Hag's style of football, it's intense. It's very, very intense. So, I was surprised that we didn't have more muscular injuries last year. I was expecting there to be a few more pulled hamstrings just because of the requirements of the game under Ten Hag. But definitely towards the end of the season, we saw it. Everyone saw it. United tired massively. When it came to, like, I don't know, 60th minute, really, really, really faded away in a lot of games. Now, maybe Gary O'Driscoll was the man to change that with being the head of medical services. I'm not really sure that's kind of down to his responsibility. That's more to do with the training, the trainers, recovery, X, Y, Z. But I hope that can improve our situation. Now, thank you very much, Carl, for reminding me, because I probably would have forgotten again, because I'm terrible like that. Look at that on the vote. We've had 2,000 votes on the live stream. Now, that definitely is a record. Harry Maguire. From 2,000 of you, 46% of you are saying you think he's worth between 30 to 40 mil. And I agree. I agree with the majority. Man United are putting a price, according to Samuel Luckhurst, Man United are putting a price tag there of 50 mil on Maguire. Yeah, good luck. Good luck would be my thing there. But look, we are just over 48 hours away now from watching Man United's first preseason game. I love watching United. I love United. I don't particularly love preseason. I mean, I don't think any player does. All right, I reckon it's. Well, I think it'll be class to be a like United player going on that US tour, going out there having a great time, traveling, XYZ. But preseason is all about hard graft, sweating, getting your fitness back, and getting yourself back towards match fitness. But I am excited about a few things. I might do a starting 11 prediction video. You know, that's what I normally do. My preview for every game is always a starting 11 and then just sort of a prediction and a conversation about the main things from that game. But Ten Hag, he's been grafting. Do you remember it takes me back to last preseason. I think that was one of my favorite times here on United People's TV. Was those, which is kind of ironic considering what I just said about how much I don't like preseason. But last preseason, I was so excited about the arrival of Ten Hag because I wanted to see the differences. Like, I wanted to see training videos. I wanted to see how these players reacted to Ten Hag's style and how we played on the pitch and how that differed. This season, we know what to expect. This preseason, everybody knows what to expect. But I want to see our new signings. I'm looking forward to seeing Mason Mount's debut. What else are you looking forward to for the game on Wednesday? Maybe we'll see Lisandro Martinez back. Yes, please. Maybe we'll see Casemiro starting. Is Casemiro even training there? I don't even know if he's with the squad yet. Ray, you ledge, man. You just gifted 5 memberships. Look at that on a Monday. Got Gungshi and Ray coming in. That was a little tiny. That was like a whisper. It's like a whisper. SS, you're saying watching Kobe Mainoo play. Now, there is definitely a reason to be excited. I think I probably will do a video. I like doing them. I like doing game. It'll be interesting. If anybody can get 11 out of 11 on guessing United's team, yeah, but fair play. Because there's no way anyone's getting 11. Of course, it's going to be the whole team switching at halftime. 455 subs. Alex is saying, looking forward to seeing who takes the inevitable opportunity up front. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Ten Hag feels he can do inside this. I'm guessing it's going to be Martial. But again, with Martial, you have to manage his games, don't you? Like 45 minutes, 60 minutes. You can't be playing 75, 90 minutes. What else you got over here? Oh, yeah. I wanted to say congratulations to Angel Gomez. Of course, he left Manchester United as a teenager. I think he went to Lille. He was playing in that, I think, a deeper midfield role. And you might say, oh, how can Gomez play there? He's like, well, he's small. How small is he? He's like 5'2". So look. Angel Gomez. He is 1.68 meters, apparently. 5'5". Okay, well, he's not quite that. It's not quite 5'2". But congratulations to Angel Gomez, man. And congratulations to England's under-21s team. Mount as a false 9, says Ewo. I don't think we'll see him Mount as a false 9. We should be seeing Mount. Well, yeah. That's probably one thing I'm excited about. See if I'm right. I want to see the shape of Manchester United's midfield. Are we going to play with one deeper midfielder with 2 number 8s? That's probably the thing I want to see. What are we saying down here? Last couple of minutes of the show, ladies and gents. You fire in your comments. I'll give you a quick recap by trying to click the right tab from my 450 tabs. There's a lot of tabs. But I think we're going to go for this one. Fabrizio Romano confirming that this is the week for Andre Onana. And what I will say is I hope it's by Friday because one of my best mates is getting married and it's his stag do this weekend coming, which I've organised. Obviously, I've nailed it. Absolutely crushed it. Well, saying that, I've not actually been yet, so maybe not. But I hope we get the here we go before Friday, because I won't be here on Saturday or Sunday. But yeah, we should be getting the Onana deal announcement, and that's what we're waiting for. After, of course, we're moving on to Rasmus Hojlund. But before that, I think we're going to start moving towards player sales. Harry Maguire, Fred, Disassi, that comes after. Fred, lots and lots here. Apparently, is Martial already injured? I didn't know that. Don't know. Lots of you asking. The content I have got prepped for Onana is exciting. It's good. Profile on him. Going to do a video on his relationship with Ten Hag. Going to do a video on his actual personality overall as well. Looking forward to it. John, you're saying, are you going to New York friendly, Sam? I was looking at flights, but I haven't done anything since. Maybe I still can. Chris, you're saying, who do you think United's new captain should be? We'll do a separate video on that. And Andreas, you're saying, is there any truth in Maguire being stripped of the captaincy? I personally would be surprised if he wore the armband next year, but let's find out. But look, thank you all for tuning in. That was a really busy but cool show. I hope you enjoyed the live and interactive community chat, XYZ. If you can, please drop a like on the video. Makes a big, big difference. If you can as well, join the community if you're not already part of it. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Hey, look, I'll be back at maybe some point later today. Forget the here we go. And also, I'll do my lunchtime video. So make sure you check that out. Take it easy, everyone.